Deebo Samuel demanded a trade today. Okay? We've made a video about it. We've talked about it. Should the Jaguars trade their first pick? And I did see, surprisingly, I saw a few people on my Facebook page say, hey, why don't we trade Jackson or trade Deebo for the first round draft pick? And I thought about it for a second. I had a conversation with somebody, and I was like, why not? And then it came to realization, like, look, it's not a good idea, right? You're going to trade a first-round draft pick for somebody who's going to be a young talent, a young potential talent to be a superstar, a cheap young talent to become a superstar, for somebody who's had one good year and paid them a lot of money, because that's what they want. They want a lot of money, and we see what wide receivers have been getting for how many good years. Now, let's say it's 3 good years. Okay, let's just say it's that. The Jaguars are not in any place to win over the next 3 years. Even if they go out and get Deebo Samuel, they're not in a place to win over the next 3 years. Right? Why are you laughing? Are you laughing at the comments?
Deebo.
What'd I say? Oh, no, it's Deebo, okay? We're on a nickname basis.
That's it. Yeah, forever.
So, with that, right, it would be a complete waste to trade your first round. Now, if they got Deebo and a few picks, maybe. I know it's Deebo. If they traded him and got a few picks, could I see the value there? Sure. But just for Deebo? Now I got me cheesing. I can't do anymore.
That's it.
I don't think that's the play. Because, again, there's just the Jaguars are not in the place to winning right now. They're in the process of building. Trevor is not going to win over the next 2 years. He ain't Joe Burrow. Okay? Just tell you right now.
Yeah. And there's not enough talent on the roster for him to step in and even play even average in the Joe Burrow shadow and be able to get as far as what the Bengals just did this year. Look, the main concern for me is that Jacksonville in the free agent market has struggled to lure talent in. Right, they get wooed by the New Yorks, the Miamis, some of these other more prominent teams that are in more metropolitan areas. Look, in 2 years when Deebo's contract is up, there's no telling if we can even sign him, and if we can, he's going to want so much money, it's ridiculous. And we just dropped a ton of money on Christian Kirk, so now we've got all this money tied up in one wide receiver that's maybe above average in Kirk, and then Deebo is kind of hit or miss on what his production could be. But that's just, you're giving your first round pick away, and you don't even know if you can keep this guy on your roster in 2 years. And that's even if he chooses to sign here. So,
yeah, I totally agree. So you're on the camp of sticking with the first round draft pick and going for Hutchinson?
Yeah. I would. Yeah, but the other thing is, and this is the one part of it that I could see the other side, why giving that pick away could make sense. And that's because this is one of the weakest drafts I've ever seen. So I don't know. Is your first round draft pick the number one overall? Maybe is a little bit too much, but your first round draft pick would absolutely, if you're in like the 12 to 18 range, I would absolutely give that pick up for Deebo.